How's it going, you guys? Welcome to your morning cup. Congo's Mount Nyiragongo erupted for the first time in 19 years, turning the night sky completely red. It erupted with such a scale that lava was seen on the major highways outside of Goma. What we understand is that thousands of residences of Goma have been evacuated. Thousands of residents of Goma, a city that is situated near the stratovolcano, fled on foot carrying mattresses and other belongings. They had no time to react. There was no preemptive warning system in place. That Mount Nyiragongo's last eruption was in 2002 and it killed 250 people, 120,000 people homeless. Volcanoes, tidal waves, tornadoes, cyclones. There is barely anything we can do to contain these things. Natural calamities are called calamities for a reason, because they are completely going to superpower us in every way, shape or form. We just hope that the people of Goma are safe. Moving on, we understand that Myanmar's anti-coup fighters and military personnel along with the police forces have been at it for a long time, and this issue has been suppressed time and time again, which is very shocking considering that I don't understand why this issue would be put under lock and key in the first place. Lesser and lesser people are still talking about it. Well, the coup is still going on. People are still fighting every single day and protesting every single day for their freedom, just like the people of Hong Kong are. And what we understand is that 13 security personnel were killed in a fight with anti-coup fighters. Now this is just going to take things up a whole new notch. But how much more of a notch can they already take it upwards of, because they've committed atrocities the likes of which you can't comprehend. There were airstrikes done on their own people. There was use of live fire in a house where children were present. There was use of live fire on religious places, people gathering in peace and serenity. There is always pressure and intimidation that has been the epicenter of this coup, and people are fighting back. Greta Thunberg has come out with a statement dictating the fact that the perfect conditions for disease to spill over from animals to humans was created by the way we farm, adding that millions have died from diseases like COVID-19 and Ebola. Climate and ecological health crisis are all interlinked, which makes a ton of sense if you go to look at it, considering the fact that we are setting ourselves up for disaster, be it with the overfishing or the industrial fishing industry, be it with factory farming, be it with a bunch of other industrialization of produce that we have come to critically acclaim in today's world, based on reviews of companies that sell badges of authenticity to companies that manufacture said products, thereby making everything mute. Nothing makes sense anymore in terms of people going out of their way to dictate that something is healthier than the other, or at least the whole essence of the world and what we have to offer to it is quickly deteriorating, to the fact wherein we are now just bearing witness to what is going to be the next chapter of humanity on this planet, with global warming being accelerated to the point of no return, and everything else also interlinked to the point wherein it's all going to collapse, if it does collapse, at the same time. And then what? The great reset of some sort? It doesn't make any sense. But what we are doing right now is setting ourselves up for failure, because if we don't take this seriously about what might be the consequences for a lack of effort and initiative, there's nothing that can be done thereafter. Now this is a weird one. Wrestler Sushil Kumar has been arrested in connection with murder of a 23-year-old Indian wrestler. Now this guy Sushil Kumar is an Olympic gold winning wrestler from Delhi, and turns out that the Delhi police's special cell arrested him in connection of a 23-year-old wrestler called Sagar Rana. A Delhi court has issued a non-bailable warrant against Sushil and others. He had apparently 2 to 3 accomplices with him. On May the 15th, Sagar was beaten to death in a clash involving 2 groups at Chhatrasal Stadium. Something about either harassing or either trying to implement his will onto the rest of the up-and-comers in the team, or just trying to hold his own position and dictating that he wants to be the one to go and represent India and doesn't want anyone else to do it. Why he did it, what transpired, is still a developing story, and we're going to find that out once he has his day in court. But still, finding out something like this from an Olympic gold winning wrestler, and twice I mean, he was on track to go and win another gold for India in the future, and this is just so center of left that I had to talk about it. Finally, the story that we spoke about earlier about Ramdev and his beliefs that science was nothing. Well, turns out that after facing tremendous backlash, he has finally put out a statement of regret, dictating the fact that he is not against modern medicine, science, and allopathy, and also said some allopathic doctors should not also discredit Ayurveda and yoga as pseudoscience. Look, of course, Ayurveda and yoga has a place on its own accord, because Ayurveda and yoga has been prevalent for that long. We've witnessed yoga being there for ages on end. Ayurveda is nothing but natural remedies. And the people that live in the forests, the tribes people, have always acclaimed as to how nature provides you with everything that you might want. From poisons to healing, from completely out of the world experiences to food the likes of which you can never run out of. Tenants is something that nature has provided us with free of cost. It's just about you and how you build a relationship with nature itself that will allow you to cultivate what you need to survive. Now, tardigrades are one of the most insane creatures that I've ever come across. What we understand is the fact that now the latest add-on to their claims of things that these things can do. They can live in space, no issues. They can come back from space on a rock and still be alive, no issues. You can bury them under the ground for millennia, no issues. You can put them in horrible conditions that can never sustain life. You see, researchers who tried to study tardigrades' ability to survive extreme impacts found out that it could survive an impact of up to 900 meters per second. The University of Kent has officially put this statement out. Tardigrades were frozen in a ton state using a specially made two-stage gas gun. Researchers shot groups of 2 to 3 tardigrades aimed towards sand targets, and by the end of it, they were still alive and well. How does something survive that is beyond me, but the fact of the matter is that these creatures, if we can evolve into something like these, we will live forever.